Hello, welcome to Where We Knit. My name is Kristen and I'm coming to you from my home in Minneapolis. I am filming this podcast today in my home as opposed to my local yarn store, Dandelion Fiber Company, because it's just one of those days that I didn't feel like leaving the house. So in today's podcast, I am talking all about my knitting, all about my finished objects, all about my very first test knit, and a couple other whips that I'm really excited to dive into. So today is Sunday, October 4th, and we just went for a walk about 4 blocks from here, and people were running the Twin Cities Marathon. And so if you've ever watched a marathon, I've never run a marathon before. I've run a 10-mile, but I've never run a marathon. And every time I go, I am so inspired by the grit and courage of these runners. It's amazing. So now I'm all like pumped up. So if I find myself talking too quickly, sorry about that. Also, not so sure what the audio is going to be like on this podcast today, as I'm filming it on my iPad and as opposed to my phone. So let's dive in. One really exciting thing that I have to share with you. I don't often do sponsorships on this podcast, but today I am, and I'm super excited about it. Today's podcast is sponsored by Huxley Optical. Huxley Optical is in Roseville, Minnesota and Wayzata, Minnesota, and also online. They are a full-on optical shop where you can get your eyes examined, get a prescription, get some glasses, and some amazing lenses. I have the luxury of going to Huxley and getting glasses because they are so close to my home. And I want to just share with you that today they are offering viewers from now until the end of November 20% off a full set of glasses. I will put all of the information as well as the coupon code in the description box below. Check out Huxley. They have amazing frames. Many of you oftentimes will comment on my videos about the glasses that I'm wearing and where did I get them. And oftentimes they are from Huxley. I do have a lot of pair of glasses. Today I am wearing these. I love these. These are my newest glasses, but if you've seen me wear these before, they've come from Huxley. If you've seen me wear these, they are also from Huxley. They have some funky, awesome frames, and I just have had such good luck with their customer service and help picking out the glasses that work for the shape of my face. So check out Huxley Optical, and thank you, Huxley, for offering my viewers a 20% discount on glasses. All right, let's move on. You might see what I'm wearing. I'm super proud of it. It is the Esther jacket. I just finished teaching a 5-week class at Dandelion Fiber on the Esther jacket. Mine is made in this local yarn called Wild Barn Yarn. This is a worsted 3-ply CVM Romdale that comes from Harvest Hill Acres in Denison, Minnesota. I also have it in this color that I haven't used, and I could not be more excited to figure out now, what am I gonna make with this? I think it knits up pretty close to an Aran weight for me. But this Esther jacket is something that flew off my needles, although the people who were in my class did not think so. But I'll stand up and show you. It is really such a beautiful knit. I knit this size small according to pattern. I did do one actual modification that is, I'm so glad that I was working ahead to tell the people in my class about it. So this is the size small. Now, when you look at it on the designer, PetiteKnit, she has her sleeves pulled up like this in the photo. I'll show a picture of it up here. And the reason I think she did that is because the sleeves would have been ginormous. So I knit the size small. I picked up for the size extra, extra small sleeves, and they are still really oversized. So for me, I like my sleeves like this on like a jacket type pattern to be a little bit longer. And if I would have picked up, well, I did start picking up and knit the size small sleeves, and they were way too big for me. So that is one modification. Now, I didn't look in Ravelry to see if other people have done the same, but I'm really glad that I did, because they are still proportionate for the opening of the sleeve and they fit my body really well. I did get some olive green buttons at Dandelion Fiber Company. I think they complement this sort of creamy color yarn by Wild Barn Yarn, and I could not be happier with this knit. I feel like I will have it forever. Now, it is pretty warm, so I'm not going to wear it throughout this whole podcast, but I did want to showcase this as what I'm wearing today and one of my very recent finished objects. Now, the next finished object I'm so proud of. I'm gonna pause the video and put it on for the next segment. And the reason that I'm so proud of it is because I started it a year ago. It was in my fall knitting plans, and it's bottom up, and I got up to here, and I realized that I made a big mistake in the cable pattern, and I had to rip it all the way back. It has been a labor of love, but once I've gotten started on it this late summer, early fall, it whizzed off my needles, and I could not be more proud. Hang on, you gotta see it. Ta-da! So this is such a pride and joy for me. I haven't done cabling that often, and this was a challenge for me, but a good challenge, and I'm so glad that I made it. This pattern is by Thea Colman, and it is called The Widow's Kiss. I had the pleasure of using my yarn that I got at Rhinebeck a couple years ago by Wing and a Prayer Farm. Amazing yarn. This is 100% Cormo. It was 220 yards in, 4 ounces. So it's a light worsted. It's called Peter Pan and Fam 3-ply Cormo. It was amazing to work with. It has blocked out beautifully. I was worried a little bit about blocking this because the pattern says block it lightly just by steaming. And after being at my latest make along at Dandelion Fiber this past week, I asked my pals there, and they were like, oh no, you gotta soak it. You gotta give it a full block. And I'm so glad that I did. You start out with knitting the sleeves. You start then from bottom up. You attach the sleeves and do the raglan as you go up, which I found a little tricky, but I was able to do it, and I could not be happier. I can wear this next to skin. It is a little toothy, but even being a little sweaty, it's a little prickly, but I can definitely wear it next to skin, and it will be definitely a prize in my wardrobe this fall and winter, and I can't wait to wear it. So this, once I got into the groove of the pattern, I was able to predict it and do it a lot easier than I did the first time around. But I knit it just a pattern. I love that it's about right here on me. I love it. I think it's so sweet and delicate, and I love the cable pattern and how the Wing and a Prayer Farm worked up for these cables was just such a lovely knit. So Widow's Kiss is my second. I've kind of, at my second finished object, I've kind of been on a roll, I have to say. I have been knitting like crazy, but also been really busy teaching classes at Dandelion Fiber, and also having a full-time job. So we are going to see my kids at college these next few weeks, so I'll have a lot of travel knit time. One that I just finished, these are the colors of my son's college in Montana, and I just made him the classic ribbed beanie by Purl Soho. This was a really nice meditative knit that I would do in the mornings, in the car. I did it on my lunch hour at school. And so I'm really, really happy with this classic ribbed beanie in this navy. This is just scrap yarn, but my friend Joan gave me this woolly knit true navy that is a merino, and I held it double to get like a DK weight for this classic rib beanie. I would definitely make this again. It was a great pattern. It's a free pattern on Purl Soho's website. So if you're looking, they have a lot of different examples how they color block it, or they stripe it, or they just do a different color at the top. It's a really sweet hat, and you can knit it in just scrap yarn. But I highly recommend the classic ribbed beanie. My next finished object I want to talk about is a pair of socks that I use the recipe from Summer Lee for a fade sock. And I love these socks, and my friend Nell loved them even more when she saw that I was working on them. It's not the best fade, but now I was working on these and my friend Nell saw them and she just loved them, and we have the same size feet. So these are for Nell. She's getting them today. I don't have the other one because I was out on the porch weaving in the ends this morning and I left them outside. So they are finished and I couldn't be more happy with how they turned out. So I used Laura from Row One Yarns. I used her Carnival of Color subscription, where I've talked about them before. I'm an affiliate. If you look in the description box and you are intrigued by Row One Yarns Carnival of Color subscription, check them out. There is a discount code in the description box that you can use for your first month of the subscription. And I love that you get like every month a whole like 10 pack or more of, oops, I got something else tangled in this, but anyway, of these sweet little minis. This last month was by Kevin. Kevin and his husband Ray have Needles at the Ready. It is a podcast, but I had no idea that Kevin was also a yarn dyer. So I got all of these beautiful, I love this like combination of this, the gray. There's so many beautiful colors. I'm really partial to this rhubarb color that came in this set for the month of September. I noticed that the month of October one is already on its way. And these little minis are just, they're so beautifully like packaged. You get like a little piece of candy and a stitch marker in the package. Like it's just, every time I get it, it's just like the biggest present. So check them out. It also comes with this little description about who they're featuring, who Laura is featuring on Row One Yarns. It has care instructions. It talks about all the colorways and what the makeup is of the yarn that you're getting. So check out Row One Carnival of Color subscription box. All right, so let's move on to whips. I do have a lot of whips. Not too many, but enough. And the whip that I want to focus on is a test knit. I have never done a test knit before. This test knit is by In Her Skein, and that is Marie Eve Wedge. She does some beautiful patterns. If you don't know her, check her out. I'm gonna link all of the information in the description box below. And I am doing a vest. It is called the Petali vest, which is an Italian word for, I hope I said that correctly. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. The Italian words for petal. And I am using, it's a DK weight pattern. The test knit is due at the end of November, so I would imagine maybe sometime in December or after the first of the year, this pattern will come out. I am using some yarn I had in stash that is a collaboration between La Bien-Aimée and Mondine Rosa Pomar, and it is 100% Portuguese wool. Now it felt really scratchy to me. It's a fingering weight. I'm using the colorway Quail. Wow, it is so beautifully variegated, and I don't use variegated yarn very often. And I am pairing it to get a DK weight because this pattern in particular, you have to pay attention to the row gauge because you're knitting from one side to the other. You're knitting this way instead of this way. So fun. That's why I signed up, because I'm like, I need to kind of change it up a little bit and learn some new skills. So I'm pairing it with this Castaway colorway from Magpie Fibers. This is their Plume yarn, which is 70% cashmere, 25% silk. It is like butter. So when I knit a swatch for this with these two together, this #1 Portuguese wool softened up so much, I was shocked. And then this cashmere with it, cashmere silk blend, it was so beautiful. So I'm so excited to knit up this vest and show it to you when the test knit is over. I have just cast it on for these beautiful little scalloped pieces that go along here. I'm going to show you a photo of what it looks like. I am knitting the non-cropped version, the regular size, and I can't wait to pair it with a pair of corduroys that I have that will match beautifully this winter. So that is one of my whips. My other whip is, I'm still working on this Fanø vest by Önling Yarns. They gifted me some of their Shetland wool and their mohair, which I've talked about in the past, and I am making a pattern that is one of their patterns called the Fanø vest, which is knit on a size 8 needle. So it will be a pretty quick knit. It is knit from the bottom up. Here's a picture of it that I want to show you. Just a basic vest. So I love this because I could pair it just with a t-shirt in the spring on those cooler days that you're just not into wearing a full sweater anymore. You're tired of wearing sweaters. So I could wear it in the spring, but also a perfect vest to have for winter. So I'm really excited about how this is knitting up. I have never knit with 100% Shetland wool before, so this is something new to me, and I'm excited to finish that up too coming up. My next whip is the name is escaping me. It's by Sonder yarn. I'm gonna put I don't know why I can't remember it, but it is Hold the Line, the Hold the Line sweater. This is a pattern, and the yarn is also by Sonder yarn. I bought the kit in February this past year, and I've cast on for the neck. It is a folded down neckline, and I am using the colors that are in the sample photo for the pattern. So I am using, this is like a really thin lace weight, kind of greenish yellow, and I am pairing it with this. So these are the stripes. I will be bringing this on some upcoming travel when we go and see our boys. Next weekend we'll be in Bozeman to see one of my boys at the Montana State, and so we'll be flying. So I'll have some airplane and airport knitting time, and then the following weekend we're going to Kansas for a 7-hour drive there and back, so I'll have a lot of knitting time, hoping that I am passenger princess for most of that drive, but we'll see. So those are some of my those are my primary whips. The other thing that I need to do is to knit a baby sweater. So that will be cast on prior to this trip to Bozeman, Montana. And I'm hoping to really get a chunk of that done over the weekend. I'm doing about a 6 to 9 inch size on fingering weight cotton yarn from Purl Soho that I don't have here, but you'll see it in the next podcast, and I'm hoping to have it done by the next podcast. What else? So lots of whips, lots of exciting like patterns coming out. I have just fallen in love. I don't know if I've been living under a rock or what, but I have just fallen in love with a couple patterns by Rose Knitwear. And when I say Rose, I'm talking about not the flower, R-O-W-S. Dandelion Fiber has a book by Rose Knitwear, and I also have found 2 patterns that I'm gonna pop up here while I'm talking about them that I am definitely going to knit. I love the sweater that has the detail of the one stripe down the side. I think it's so sporty and fun. I have yarn and stash for it. I might teach a class on it. I have no idea, but I have to knit that. And then this super cute handbag with the, I'll pop a photo of it here. Those are on my wish list to knit sometime in the next year. If you've watched my video before, I think last year I did do a fall knittings plans video, and although it gets tons of views, I have learned about myself that I cannot say I'm gonna knit these 9 patterns. Like, you know how people do the make 9? I squirrel away in so many different directions. And so I can tell you I will knit both of those items by Rose Knitwear, but I don't know when. So I could cast it on next week, hopefully not. What I have found, and maybe you are a monogamous knitter, but I am not. When I first got back into knitting during the pandemic, I was a monogamous knitter, and I didn't get bored with that. But then after a while and my skills increased, I started to get bored, and I needed to have a sock, and I needed to have a hat, and I needed to have a raglan, and I needed to, so all of these things. But what I did find, and I knew this was the case, I just needed to do it, is that when I was knitting this cardigan that I had on earlier, the Esther jacket, because I was doing it for a class. So I would do a section, and then I'd go to class and I'd work with people on what I worked on. And then I would do another section. So like I had a deadline, for instance. So that's why I signed up for this test knit, because I thought maybe this will give me a deadline that I have to get it done by a specific amount of time to communicate my thoughts and feelings about the pattern and any kind of quirks or things that come up in the pattern. So I can't see myself being a big test knitter in the future, but I have, Marie have gifted me a pattern of something else that I talked about in a previous episode, and I loved it. And then I started following her, and then when the test call came out, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna do it. And then for this, I knew I wanted to get this done. And so I was like, dang it, I'm just gonna like really focus. So it was like either the Esther jacket or this. I was knitting back and forth with like this in the car and in my work bag. And I'll be darned, it worked out great. So I'm gonna start to try to focus in on that and finish some languishing whips that I have, as well as some of these things that I have here in front of me. Thank you for watching this video. You know that I also have favorite things, and I have a really, like, you can't even believe it, such a special favorite thing. But first I'm gonna go to my simple ones. All right, I love candy. I'm a sugar. I have a sweet tooth. I don't eat it like crazy every day, but I do love candy. And Halloween is coming here in the United States, and then Mr. Where We Knit buys Halloween candy to sit in a bowl, and I'm like, nobody's coming over. The boys don't live here right now, so why are we doing this? But anyway, I digress. So one of my favorite new candies, it's not new to me, but one of my favorite candies, I hope I haven't talked about this before either, but one of my favorite things, I love sweet tarts. And this is Sweetart Ropes. So it's like, I love licorice and I love sweet tarts. So the outside is licorice and the inside is chewy sweet tart. I love this. I love it. And I do have control. Like I have 1 rope a day, but I was just at Walgreens and they had them on sale with all the other candy. And I was like, might as well get one, and then I'll keep it for when we travel this coming weekend and can have a little treat on the plane. So, favorite thing, Sweetart Ropes. My other favorite thing is I just did my nails and I never use like interesting colors. Like I do use navy sometimes, but I'm kind of a natural pinky, red, purple, whatever. So this BeKind is, well, first of all, I love the name. Second of all, I love the color. This is the colorway Vein. Tiff and Lara carry this at Dandelion Fiber Company, and they just got a new batch of colors. I don't know if they're all new, but this one is Vein. And the thing I love about it, it is a plant-based vegan product. I'm not vegan, but I just love that it's a plant-based product. It's got to be healthier for our nails. Probably doesn't have a ton of chemicals in it. But anyway, I don't know that for sure, but BeKind. If you live in the Twin Cities metro area and you shop at Dandelion, or if you shop online, check out this nail polish. I gave the plum sort of port wine color to my friend Michelle for her birthday. And she's like, Kristen, this is the best nail polish. It stays on forever. So I can't attest to that because I just did my nails yesterday, but I'm doing a little test run on this because I want to invest in some more fun colors for fall and winter. This is the colorway Vein, and I think it's really cute. So anyway, that's another, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna call it my favorite thing to like invest in new kind of trendy, fun nail polish. Okay, are you ready for my best favorite thing? So I've talked about Anna before. Anna is a friend from the neighborhood, and Anna is in my makers group on Sundays. Anna builds saunas, Anna builds cabins, Anna is a sewist, Anna is a painter, Anna can pretty much do anything. But this winter, we went to one of her cabins. It's called the Stuga. You saw a video of it in previous episodes if you're a subscriber and you watch this video each week. So Anna took photos of like 25 of my sweaters. And so I brought these big totes up to her cabin. We laid out a black cloth. We got good lighting. She took photos of them on her camera and is like, I'm gonna do something really special for you. I just wanna do it. So anyway, about 2 weeks ago, she was like, hey, it's a Friday night. Are you home? Yep, I'm home. And she came over with this. Are you kidding me? She signed it. She writes Kristen's Knits, and she picked out these out of all the photos. She put them in these little tiles. She drew them first, and then, I mean, are you kidding me? I like had to weep. I love this so much. So Mr. Where We Knit and I are in the market for a great frame shop. And so we are gonna go around. We have a bunch of art that we need to frame for the house and kind of update it. But check this out. Here's like, I mean, I can't even, this is my Paul cardigan. This is that one by Santa Scarn I just did. Here is the cocoon sweater that I just did in camel. Here is my soundtrack sweater. Here is my Michelle sweater. Here's my Norma. Here's that one from, I know them all, but anyway, like here's this little one. This like Andrea Mowry little number that I was gonna wear for the podcast, but I didn't. I mean, are you kidding me? How adorable. So I'm really excited because someday if I have a house that has a studio, like now the next thing she's gonna do is she's gonna do 9 pairs of socks in a complete square and do little pairs of socks that I knit like 3, 3, and 3. So I can put right next to it. I'm gonna put it in my hallway. I love it. So it is truly one of the most touching gifts I have ever received. So anyhow, that was another favorite thing. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it with others. Please give me a thumbs up. Please click the button that says subscribe so you'll never miss content. I try to upload content like every 2 weeks or so, but sometimes I just don't have enough progress on knits. So thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Don't forget, if you're in the market for glasses, check out Huxley Optical. Bye.